What's up, guys? This is Skylar, aka Pokey Sky. We're driving down to Lee Outlets for the Pokemon Outlet Show. 10 to 4 today, Sunday, 10/12, I think. Just doing a video, never done one of these before, related to Pokemon, but just to kind of tell you guys who I am, what I do, what I think about the market. I don't know. Stuff that I think matters to a lot of people getting into the vending space. I started vending in March of this year in Florida. I had just moved down there a few months before that. I was not making very good money, or any money, pretty much, due to just not having a network, not knowing people around there, and being not a good employee, pretty much. I had a job for a bit there, and it was the first job I had really in like 6 years, because I had been running my own business before I moved, and I'm just a little too stubborn to work for other people sometimes. So I decided, I have a Pokemon collection. I started selling a little bit on Marketplace, and then there was a show, collectible show, kind of general collectible show, right in the city that I had moved to. And so I said, okay, I'll try this. That show went really well. I did a handful more shows in Florida, but then I moved back to Massachusetts just due to not really having a network, not making good money. So, that's a long story, but came back to Massachusetts, sort of immediately fixed all those problems where, I'm now super busy with work and trying to get into the vending space up in New England area. And yeah, my inventory has grown a ton in the past, 6 months, 7 months. I'm a lot more comfortable doing the shows and everything now. But I was a collector when I was a kid, like everybody else. I had a collection, I lost it, or someone stole it, or whatever. And like COVID time was when I got back into collecting a little bit. I used to be a collector for Magic the Gathering. That's where I started with cards. That's where I seriously collected as an adult first. And unfortunately, Wizards and Hasbro and, the team there, as if you're plugged into that market at all, everybody knows, they destroyed the collector's market. They reprint cards all the time, constantly. They reprint cards that they said they'd never print again, but it's not an official this, that, whatever excuse. So they're just like ruthlessly awful to their collector market. And so I made the decision to stop investing any money in that market, because it's like silly to invest money in something like when the company can just like reprint this anytime, tank the value, destroy your collection, like immediately have the value of your collection due to a snap of their fingers. So I left that space and started like just sort of casually like picking up cards. I saw that when I got back into it, it was like Crown Zenith was out, and I was like, all these like full arts are sweet, and the gold cards are sweet, and these special illustration rares are sweet. And generally like the investing environment just felt a lot more safe with the Pokemon company than with Magic. And so I was just picking up singles here and there and whatnot, and kind of just really slowly dipping my toes into it. And I did that a little on and off. I was very into crypto in that time period too. Like, I was learning about all the economic factors that made crypto very attractive to investors. And so I was just kind of doing it casually with Pokemon for a while until the vending thing popped off. And once the vending thing sort of got into it, I kind of like, it is kind of scary. And this is the criticism that, like, people not in the space would make all the time. Oh, well, you're investing in little pieces of cardboard. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But if you have a stack of cash under your mattress, let's say, if you're investing your time to make investments in Ben Franklin trading cards, what does that do over time? And if you know anything about economics or monetary policy, you know that if you stick 10 Ben Franklins under your mattress this year and wait 5 years, those Ben Franklins will buy less things 5 years from now. It's just how it works. I'm sure I'll do some deep dives on monetary policy and the Fed and money printing and blah, 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 because that's what I like to nerd out about when I'm not doing Pokemon stuff. But, suffice to say, people know if you just stick your money, if you just hold cash, the value goes down over time as far as what you can buy with it. Whereas Pokemon cards, instead of investing in Ben Franklin's, you invest in Pikachu. 5 years from now, you're very likely to be able to buy at least the same amount of things with the equivalent cash value of those cards, or in most cases, you're going to be way up on your investment. And so part of this whole hobby that I think most people don't really talk about, or even maybe like they kind of like implicitly understand but not like totally explicitly understand the way that works, is like, this is like this whole hobby, and same thing with crypto, is essentially you're just taking your money or your time, your value, your accumulated net worth out of cash, which is a depreciating asset over time, and you're parking it somewhere where it has a much better chance of appreciating. I have very little doubt if I cashed out my collection today for a full cash, 100% of market, and I just sat on that cash for 5 years, I'd be in a much worse situation than if I just stopped vending, never made another Pokemon transaction, held every single thing I had for 5 years, and then cashed that out. I'm doing way better holding the Pokemon cards than I am holding cash. And like, I don't know if most people think of this hobby like that, but I sort of think of it like that, where it's like, we're trading. This is like currency trading. This is the new currency trading. Do I want to be trading? Oh, I'm going to trade against the British pound. I'm going to trade against the yen. It's like, I'm trading my current depreciating assets for more current depreciating assets. It's not savvy business unless you have like insider trading information and you know what's going to happen with some currency. But like, I'd much rather trade some currency into Pikachu or Charizard, where in most cases, especially over time, I'm going to get value out of that, or at least stay on top of inflation. And if you were to stick your money in Pokemon and try to buy a house in 10 years, you'd be much better off doing that than sticking all your stuff in a 4 4% yielding savings account. It's junk. You're not even keeping up with inflation. CPI is, CPI is whatever they say it is, but it doesn't even count anything that's important. So what does that mean? We all have looked around the past 5 years, I hope, or most of us, and realized that whatever the inflation numbers they say they are, they're much higher, clearly. Housing prices have doubled, at least in the past 10 years, probably shorter time than that. So I just kind of look at it like that. I'd rather have my net worth parked in cards, collectibles, crypto, real estate, pretty much anything that tends to appreciate over time than something that is guaranteed to depreciate over time. At this point, truthfully, the Pokemon Company is a better central bank than any other central bank in the world, because they actually print things and then stop printing them, and then the values of those things go up over time. Whereas every central bank prints money and then prints money and then prints money, making those assets guaranteed to go down in value over time. So that's pretty much how I look at it. That's, I don't know if the part of the reason I'm starting hopefully to do these videos more often is that I think the space has a lot of people talking about oh, this thing went up, that thing went up, whatever. But I think as a whole, there's very few people that are kind of talking about general economic theory and monetary theory and investing theory that is divorced from just the Pokemon market. And I think that having a broader context for why these things have value and why I'd rather have my net worth tied up in them than in cash or other asset classes is something that could benefit a lot of people. Because I think, especially if you're a younger person coming up and trying to get into this, and maybe you have adults in your life or just older people, mentors or whatever, that don't understand it, being able to understand the underlying economic realities we're dealing with is good to explain to them why you're doing it, possibly good to help them diversify their assets, because more people should. And I just think it's beneficial to have a real broader understanding of why you're doing this, more than just oh, I like the cards. I mean, I like the cards too, but if they had no value, let's be real, most of us would not be in the space. So to wrap it up, I guess this is my first video. Ran a little longer than I thought I was gonna, but that's all right. We still got some time. But to wrap it up, I would just say, it's been a fun experience getting into the vending space. I'm making friends and I'm having fun, even though I have not done a ton of big shows yet. I'm still definitely a small fish in the pond, not even in the big body of water yet. I'm not even a big fish in I don't know, whatever the metaphor is, but biggest show that I'm going to be doing so far is probably going to be Foxwoods Casino later this month, October 25th. Really looking forward to that show. Hopefully people come out and hopefully it's a great show. Hopefully today goes well. We'll see. Yesterday was a little slow, but it was pretty steady and had some good pickups and transactions and whatever. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to do these videos a little more often and just talk about general economics and how that relates to, not that I'm not an investment advisor, whatever, caveat, but I think just understanding broader context is always good, and like a lot of people probably don't. So that's my spiel. If you made it this far, thanks. It was a long one. And we'll do it again soon. All right, later.